I lost God in the church my father built. Maybe it was how loud Nikki's suicide note reverberated in that empty chapel. Maybe it was how quiet the depression hung from the rafters. Maybe I just didn't want to cry anymore. Or maybe my father did when the church didn't pay him in cash or forgiveness of sins. Maybe it was my mother that never forgave him. And maybe she couldn't. Maybe it was the cash or the trust he borrowed from her. Or maybe he stole it. And maybe this church is his atonement. Maybe a chapel is just another tomb for a dead God or dead girl. Maybe a church is just another name for a dead marriage. And how many memories can you stuff into a casket before the pallbearers begin to protest, too? All the atheists sit together in the back of Bible class. So we crack jokes. Me, the only black kid. Scott, the only kid who has lost a leg at 17. We pass notes and play Pokemon under our desks, all while the teacher's more pious people stare up at the board. And sometimes I wonder how they do it, you know? Look up so much. Where are their heavy hearts? How do they get through life without grief dragging them underneath the desk? Scott and I never speak of this. We talk about cartoons and cigars and punk music, but hardly ever God. So we survive on idle chatter and wait for the bell to ring. One day, Scott asks why I never visited him in the hospital. And I wanted to say, I went there once to find forgiveness, but only found a vacant hospital bed begging for a miracle, and I cannot do this again. Do not ask this of me, Scott. But instead, I respond, I didn't come here to confess, Scott. Didn't come here to dig you two from this pit. We are all suffering from something, Scott. So we sink back under our desks, remembering that we will die like this, 3 alone. Nikki took her life and became a ghost, and this is no surprise. This was her plan. I took her suicide note to my bedside every night, and my father taught me the Lord's Prayer. My Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be her name. I've seen enough dead things to know what I too shall become. A coffin, a lamentation, a tearing of shirt and gnashing of teeth. I just hope my eulogy doesn't bring tears, that it comes in my grandmother's church, that I am a celebration in place of my father's depression. I no longer have a God, and I think this erasure to be holy. I call my own mortality holy. I think this moment is holy, and yes, the lamentation too. It has been 10 years since I've avoided the mirror, since I've seen anything more than a familiar sorrow and a gaping mouth so hungry. No, today I wake up yet again to see the same haggard face, but I hear a trumpet on the horizon, calling for my life, and I know that this too is holy. Thank you.